Yes.
Good evening, Mr. Thomas. Feeling fine, I hope.
Considering I've been kept in a cage for 6 weeks, I'm fine, yes.
Good. Some of us will be returning to the city. This gives me an opportunity to say goodbye.
Won't you be coming back here to the excavations?
You won't be returning to the city.
Why not, Doctor? Is it the caskets you found?
Yes, I've seen those caskets. And the headstones. Of some long-range interest to the archaeologists, perhaps.
Nothing more than that.
The findings in those excavations point out very little not already surmised. There has been somewhat of an affectionate bond between the master and the animal. The ape has been civilized for 1,000 years, Mr. Thomas.
And the man?
The man. Archaeology your line, Mr. Thomas?
Just a hobby, Dr. Zaius.
You're quite remarkable. You go from the floor of a cage to the holder of scientific opinions in the space of a month and a half. Given more time, I wonder how far you would go.
I think the question is how far you'd let me go. Me or any of my kind, for that matter.
Your kind. I don't think that question will ever likely be put to a test, Mr. Thomas. Man here is an animal. Man here was an animal. He had no civilization. He wore no clothes. He thought no thoughts. He spoke no language.
Just a few feet from this tent, you found a cemetery. Built and filled by a civilized race. A race which, according to you, never got beyond a crawl and a couple of grunts. You found more than a cemetery, Doctor. You found a question. Which came first, the chicken or the egg, the ape or the man?
Dr. Zaius, you'd better take a look at this. We found it in some kind of artificial shaft.
What do you think you found, Mr. Cornelius?
Not found, Doctor. Lost. And I'm afraid that would be a birthright.
They had a language. While we swung from trees, they had a language.
Well, you were right, Mr. Thomas. We have uncovered a question. Now we must unearth an answer. If man had a civilization here, what happened to it? You better go out there and supervise the preparations for our departure.
I'm a menace now. Is that it?
Way down deep. Deep in my own consciousness, my own awareness. As deep, perhaps, as a basic instinct. I've known that you were a menace. I've known that man is a menace. You see, Mr. Thomas, I know all about man. I think his wisdom must go hand in hand with his idiocy. His emotions must conquer his logic. He's a belligerent animal who gives battle to everything he comes in contact with, and in the process, he will always destroy himself. That is what we've dug up out of a hole, Mr. Thomas. The truth. We apes have no death wish.
Dr. Zaius, hasn't it occurred to you that back on Earth, man has become civilized? Finally civilized? I'm proof of that. Proof that man's reached out for the stars. For the first time in the history of mankind, maybe the history of the universe, man is not a destroyer, not anymore.
Well, if that be indeed truth, we've come close to a millennium. But this planet cannot afford to take that risk. We're not going to put it to a test. We will expect you to leave, Mr. Thomas. Forever.
That's assuming I can get my ship back into the air again.
I pray that you can. The alternative must be obvious. So long as you live amongst us, you threaten us. Dwell on that.